one thing about, females in general is that they're just super boring. And a lot of times they call men boring. And that's one thing that I couldn't understand. Like, you're boring yourself and you call a man boring. And the funny thing is, you can't, as a man, you can try and all that stuff. You try to be funny and all that. You try to hold a conversation. You try to make things interesting. You try to have a good time and not be like quote unquote boring. But these women are just so boring that you can't even have like a basic conversation. You can like, you ask them something and they just like either give you the answer or they're like, I don't know, I'm not sure, and all that stuff. And after that, they're on mute. They're on mute mode until you ask them another question, until like you say something else to them so it can make them talk. I've been out with girls that are just so boring that I was running out of things to say, because I was like questioning them. I was asking them questions. I was saying some funny stuff and all that stuff. And they'd be like, haha. And then they'd be like went back to their boring phase, or they were saying like some word and then they never ask you anything. That's another thing. They never ask you anything. They're very secretive. They're very vain. They're very like unreliable people. And you can't say that because they didn't find you attractive and all that stuff, or they become boring because they don't find you attractive. Maybe. I would say maybe that's the case, but at the same time, you have to have something interesting to say or talk back. But these women, their lives are not interesting, Their lives are just going to their jobs, or some of them don't have no job, or most of them, they're always on their phones, texting other dudes. And they have like one or two other boring friends. And yeah, of course, somebody like that is not going to have any interesting things to say, and somebody like that is obviously going to be boring because, their lives are not interesting. And even if it is interesting, it's going to be like for a cool minute and then just go back to like being that boring person. And that's something that bothers me because like as a man, you have to do pretty much everything. And these women are so boring that you get frustrated. You get frustrated because you be like, why should I always ask her questions? Why should I like always do all the talking and stuff? Why she's not doing anything? Why she's not like answering something back from me? Why she doesn't say anything interesting to me? Why does she not say anything like no funny stories, no nothing? Why she's not funny, But it goes back to, these women, they're like, their lives are not interesting, most women, all they do is like, they just text other dudes, they just like, they want to get on social media and, they just want to thirst trap men. They just want to catfish men. They just want like men to, they post like half naked photos so men would swarm on the comment section and start complimenting them and all that stuff, which is kind of lame. And unfortunately, a lot of men do it. But yeah, to be honest, like even if a woman is interesting, right? She doesn't want you to know anything about her. That's another problem. They don't want to They don't want you to know anything about them. So that's how they become boring. And they want, I mean, even like, the funny thing is, if you don't ask anything, they're not gonna ask anything either. If you don't talk, they're not gonna talk. Then there's not gonna be any conversation. If if your conversation stops, well, they're already, like, they weren't already talking, but it's gonna completely stop. But that's something that men have to take it under consideration. Now, this is why a lot of men become clowns. This is why a lot of men, like, they say, like, oh, bro, you don't have game, bro. You don't know how to talk to girls, bro. And these men don't understand, like, even if you know how to talk to these women, if they don't find you attractive, they're not gonna put in anything into conversation. Like honestly, bro, like, if a woman doesn't find you attractive, there's no beginning. Like, there's no conversation to begin. There's no talking. There's nothing, bro. And it's very annoying that as a man, you pay for a date, you go out, you dress nice, you try to quote unquote gesture max, you try to be funny, you try to be confident, you try to not be boring, you try to be interesting. And you go out and it's like you're talking to a statue when you go on a date, bro. Like, back in 2016, there was this girl that I went out with. This girl called me boring, and she didn't call me boring directly, but based on what she said, I kind of got the hint, that she was talking about me, and then she was telling me that I was boring. And what she said was, I thought men were interesting, So basically, what, in a female language, or feminese, is that, you're boring. And the whole time, bro, I'm telling you, like, she ordered a food, and it was just a salad, and she didn't even eat half of it. So, and that salad was pretty expensive, bro. That salad was like, what, $30? I'm like, god damn, like, she threw half of it away too. Like, come on now. And then, like, she had the audacity to end the date herself. Like what? Like, she, like, literally, she kind of grabbed her face, and she was like, okay, let's go. I was like, wow, really? And the whole time, I'm telling you, she did not put anything to our conversation. I was keep going. I was taking her to her favorite places, and she was just keep telling me she was boring. Like, she was keep telling me I was boring, but the whole time she was the one who was boring. And she was just there, bro. She was just showed up. She didn't do nothing, and she didn't like, we didn't conversate that much, and the whole date become awkward. That's another thing. Like, like, it's like, whenever you go out with a girl, it's like most of the time it becomes awkward, especially the first date. It's very awkward, because, like, she's on defense and you're on defense, but at the same time, you have to put your guard down, because you're gonna get labeled as boring, But if she gets labeled as boring, it's totally fine, because she's gonna be like, well, I'm a girl, I have to protect myself, too many weirdos out here and all that stuff, And yeah, man, it's just like, dating is a complete joke, man. Going out with these girls are a complete joke. And the funny thing is, like, every day they become more and more boring, Every day they become, like, more unbearable to deal with or talk to, And it sucks, it really sucks, especially if you're an average guy, an unattractive guy. I mean, you're always gonna get short end of the stick. You're always gonna get stuck in the friend zone, or you're always gonna get rejected, or you're gonna get, like, only get the first dates and you're never gonna see that girl again, and you have to keep on trying and keep on trying until you finally meet one girl that is not boring. But it's just too much work, man. I don't know if you guys agree. You know, I have no clue. Maybe you're not gonna agree, but I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of work, man. Just for average girl to like consider you, it's a lot of work, bro. It's just a lot of work. That unnecessary hoops and obstacles you have to jump through, and the whole time she's just there. You know, and she expects you stuff, and she expects you to like meet her criteria, not be like be this interesting guy, be this like social butterfly and all that stuff, be this like, you know, charismatic dude. And the funny thing is, like, most girls, they have like big social circle. Like, never believe that a girl says like, oh, I have no friends, or I only have like 2 friends and that's it. I don't hang out with nobody else. I don't hang out with men. Never believe that shit. Never believe that shit. Because 10 out of 10 times it's bullshit. You know, these women, they have so many people around them that it's not even funny. Like, you know, if a girl says like, I have only 2 friends, that means she has like 20 friends. You know, if a girl says like, oh, I don't usually go on a date, that means like she goes on a date on regular, bro. That means like maybe she's going on a date right after you. You know, she has a set up date after you. You never know. Like, but she said like, oh, I don't usually go out with men, and she says that because she wants to make it seem like she's worthy, or she's valuable, or she's like she's that quote unquote good girl. But you know, it doesn't matter like if they're good girls or like they're bad bitches and all that stuff. But they still boring, bro. Like, they still have nothing interesting to say. I mean, the problem is that around us, you know, they're not gonna say like, oh, you know, I sucked that guy off. I F my Uber driver. I went behind the bush with my coworker. I smashed my boss in his office and all that stuff. She's not gonna say that because, like, I mean, those are the only conversations that she has, bro. And the funny thing is, the other conversation that she has is about celebrities and all that gossip and bullshit. You know, like women always gossip and they're talking about crap that doesn't even matter. You know, but us men, we listen to it because we want to get some. But at the same time, you know, you listen to these women, it's like it becomes annoying. You know, it becomes annoying, and you're at some point you're having enough of it, and you in your head you'll be like, oh, let me go find some other girl who's not boring, but like another girl who's gonna be boring. You know, most likely. You know, even girls like who travel the world and all that stuff, and even girls that try all kinds of things like food, and they go to these really nice places, like they scuba dive, or they skydive, or they mountain climbing and all that stuff, or they're exploring the nature and all that stuff. Even those girls are boring, bro. Like, and the funny thing is, like, here's the thing, like, even if those girls, they start bragging about themselves, and if they ask you like, oh, so have you done any of these and all that stuff, like, have you done like have you gone to like skydiving, like, have you gone to like Dubai with a yacht, have you like traveled the world in like 20 days and all that stuff, and you say like, no, I haven't done none of it, and boom, that's it. She's gonna be like, oh, this guy's super boring and all that stuff, and that would be end of it. And it's always one way or the other. But you know, but the moral of the story is, women are boring, and they never put in effort to talk to a guy. They never put in effort to get to know a guy, because the guy doesn't click in their head, or doesn't tingle their vagina, or the guy's not attractive enough, or the guy's not like rich enough, or the guy's not tall enough, or something like that, like in general, they don't want you to know about their life and stuff like that. All they want to do is just like go get some free food and waste your time, waste your energy, and leave you with some blue balls. That's pretty much what they want to do, bro. And it sucks. And so many men are falling for it. That's why I gave up on dating, man. Like, that's why I gave up on dating. And I have no high hopes about this dating scene, bro. Like, I really don't see myself getting with any of these women. And you can call me whatever you want, but it just annoys me that you cannot have a simple conversation with a woman and not feel guilty, and not feel awkward, and not feel like weird, not feel the odd one, So, and it sucks, man. It sucks. Like, they have so many people around them, and you have nobody, and yet they're the ones who are boring. They have, like, you take them out, you try to impress them and all that stuff, and all they do is like just sexting other guys in front of you, and it's brutal, bro. And that's at your tab, and they expect you to pay for it and all that stuff, and it's brutal, bro. And yeah, man, it's just one of those things. But that's all I wanted to say.